Have you ever wondered how consultants convince executives to make multi-million-dollar changes to their business? Of course, excellent research and problem solving is part of the answer. But the other part is how they communicate their recommendations using the pyramid principle. The pyramid principle is a tool you can use in your consulting case interviews. It will help you sound like a consultant before you even have an offer. In this video, we will cover what the pyramid principle is, why top consulting companies use it, how it can help you in a case interview, an example of how to use it on a case. Hi, I'm Jean with my consulting offer. If you're just joining us today, click and subscribe so you will get new videos on landing your dream consulting job as soon as they drop. The pyramid principle is an effective communication tool for quickly and clearly communicating complex issues to busy business executives. It's actually so efficient that it kind of became the standard for communication in consulting and at the C-level of Fortune 500 companies. And you would be penalized during your case interview for not communicating this way. Fortunately, we've got you covered. So make sure to watch this whole video to learn everything there is to know about it, from what it is to how to use it on a case. What is the pyramid principle and how does it work in practice? Let's start with that. Here are the core elements of the pyramid principle. First, lead with the answer. The most important part of the pyramid principle is to make your recommendations or give your answer right away. List the key facts and insights behind them while staying at the high level. Then, and only then, back those key insights with data, analysis, and evidence to support your understanding of the situation and convince the listener that they add up to the recommendation that you started with. Sounds easy, right? It's actually a little counterintuitive. If you pay attention, you will notice that the pyramid principle actually reverses the typical flow of information compared to the way most people would naturally answer questions. For example, if a friend asks you at what time you would like to meet up and you answer, I get off work at 6 p.m., I have to run an errand and I need to call my mom, so I should be there by 8 p.m. You're not using the pyramid principle since your actual answer comes last. Instead, using the pyramid principle would sound like, let's meet at 8 p.m. I'm getting off work at 6 p.m. and I need to run an errand and call my mom first. Notice how now your friend would get to hear the answer first. And if the phone call cuts out and they were to hear anything at all before it does, it would be your answer, which was the most important piece of information. Similarly, if they don't have the time to listen to the why because they are still doing something else, they will be able to let you know right away, okay, that's enough, without losing time. And finally, if they want to know more about it, they get to ask now, what's the errand you have to run? Is that something you could do tomorrow to get here earlier? Turns out those ideas are actually part of what makes the pyramid principle so compelling. Now, let's see why and how consultants, executives, and busy business people use it. Why do top consulting firms use it? There are really 3 reasons why the pyramid principle is so powerful. First, it communicates complex ideas in a simple way. Second, it makes the most efficient use of time. Third, it convinces others it's worth giving you that time. The pyramid principle is very important to help organize discussions with top executives. The job of management consultants is to tackle very tough challenges. If clients' problems were easy to solve, they would do it quickly with their own teams. So, in practice, management consulting teams cram a lot of data, research, and modeling into each project. The final answer to the client's questions still needs to be very clear, though despite having required lengthy analysis and synthesis. The pyramid principle will help busy executives to absorb your message quickly and efficiently because it uses vertical relationships between the key points. Top level, the summary point you need to communicate. Second level, the key points supporting the top level point. Third level, data that supports second level points. So, you begin with the answer first by communicating your summary point. This way, the listener has time to absorb that point. Then, they can easily see how your key insights support it, strengthening your argument. Finally, the third level data supports the second level insights, resolving any questions that might be raised and further strengthening your argument. Notice how each piece of information in your pyramid supports a level above it. This is what allows you to communicate very complex ideas crisply and efficiently. The second reason why the pyramid principle is so powerful is that it allows you to do the best use of the time that you have. Clients do not have a ton of time to absorb all the great information and insights that were gathered in order to solve their problems. They have full-time jobs that keeps them really busy. By leading with the answer and the most important insights backing it up, you make sure that they will always leave any meeting with the most important piece of information. Else, if their CFO calls them mid-meeting, or if they decide that they need to be doing something else, you will have maximized the chances of them hearing what really matters. Finally, and related to the previous point, using the pyramid principle is what allows you to actually convince people that it's worth listening to you in the first place. The efficiency of the pyramid principle is especially important in consulting when you are talking to client executives or anyone in the C-level suite. They have likely paid millions of dollars for the consulting project and want to know right away if it was worth it and if it's worth it listening to you any longer. What is the bar for it to be worth it for executives? They want to know that your recommendation will move the needle in a big way for revenue, costs, or any other key metric that is essential to the project. We have heard of a senior executive who wasn't interested in going through any of the details of the consulting team's work until the team had communicated. So far, we have identified X million in savings across these Y initiatives. Then, and only then, would he be okay being led through the biggest and best ideas of the week and the data to support our recommendations. Okay, now that it makes sense to you why the pyramid principle is so important in consulting, let's see how that applies to the case interview. Why is it important in the case interview? Because the pyramid principle is such an integral part of how consultants communicate. You will actually be evaluated on your ability to use it by always leading with what's most important first and then backing it up as needed. There are 3 key opportunities to use the pyramid principle during the case interview. Number 1, structuring your approach at the beginning of the case to synthesize your thoughts. Number 2, during brainstorming in the middle of the case. You can use buckets to lay out the board buckets the solution will fall into, and brainstorm specific ideas within those buckets. Number 3, for the final recommendation at the end of the case, to synthesize and communicate your answer and the main points supporting it. Once again, you will be judged on how structured you are in your communication, and top candidates will be using the pyramid principle. So, we want to make sure you do that too. Now, let's see what that looks like on an actual case interview. Here is a case example to demonstrate how to use the pyramid principle to structure your case and to provide recommendations. Your client is a travel company that serves a mature clientele that are looking to expand their business with additional newer customer segments while keeping their current customers delighted. The client's current marketing spend is almost entirely centered on direct mail and catalogs, and their services are at very high price point for 7+ day trips. The question we're trying to answer is, how should your client think about shifting their service mix and marketing spend to serve the new customer segments and increase revenues by 100 million? Here is how you could structure your approach using the pyramid principle. You start with announcing the top level of your structure. In order to enter a new customer segment and increase revenues by 100 million, we need to understand the following 4 things. Then, you move into the key insights in the second level of your pyramid. First, what are our current offering and marketing channel for these mature clientele? Second, who are the customers in the new priority market segments, and how are we most likely to reach them? Third, what are the gaps in our clients' capabilities that need to be filled? And fourth, what will be the impact of these initiatives on both revenues and profit? Finally, you move on to what you will need to back up every one of these points, the third level of the pyramid. So, in order to understand who our current customers are, I would like to know who they are, age, income, etc. What they like about our offering, how we are currently reaching them, and how much that costs, as well as benchmark those costs against our competitors. Then, I want to understand how that is different from our new priority segment. I would like to understand who they are as well, the kind of offering they might like. Their travel preferences might be different from our current customer, as well as the type of marketing that is most likely to work with them. I also wonder what we can learn about them through digital marketing. and so on and so forth. You keep going through your pyramid from the top down. This is how top consultants will start their case interviews, and now you know what to expect. This is how to use the pyramid principle for the structuring part of the case interview. We won't cover how to do a brainstorming question in this video, but it's exactly the same idea as what we just did with the structuring. If you're confused about what the various parts of the case interview are, be sure to watch our case interview prep video. It describes how you can speed up your case interview prep with our proven 4-step process. The link is in the description box below. Make sure you check it out. And now, let's see how you would use the pyramid principle on the recommendation at the end of your case interview to leave the best impact on your interviewer. In a typical case interview, you will have spent 20 to 25 minutes structuring a problem, gathering data, doing analysis, and brainstorming solutions. Then, you need to sum all this work up with a nice, neat bow. Let's use the pyramid principle to translate that same structure to synthesize your recommendations at the end of the case. And of course, on the day of the interview, all these numbers will have been computed by you through a successful analysis. Here is what your conclusion could look like. We can increase revenues by 120 million if we enter the travel market for middle-aged professionals. But it will require an investment of 32 million and will take 3 years to grow the business. This is the top of the pyramid. The 4 key arguments for entering the new market are: our core market of mature customer is declining. The new middle-aged professional market is growing. The client has the core capabilities to enter the new market, but will need to build some new capabilities and adopt its product offerings. The new market will unlock 22 million in profit. This is level 2 of the pyramid. And here's the evidence in the deeper layer of the pyramid principle to support your recommendations. Our client's current mature customer base drives 250 million in revenues per year. Profits from this group are 45 million and are expected to start declining by 7% annually as this group ages and stops traveling. Additionally, marketing costs are significantly higher than peers at 28% of revenue due to the cost of direct mail. Priority growth segments include middle-aged professionals who are looking for shorter trips and lower cost options. They can be reached more efficiently with digital marketing tactics. This segment's higher cost travel preferences, shorter trips, are slightly offset by efficiencies of digital marketing. Our client has most of the capabilities required to enter this market, but is lacking 2 things. They don't currently have a marketing technology stack. For example, capability to send marketing emails or to manage an app. They would need to invest heavily in digital marketing infrastructure in order to reach younger customer segments. Our client would also need to adopt their travel offerings to include shorter trips that are more accessible to key target segments. Our client can unlock an additional annual opportunity of 120 million in revenue and 28 million profit opportunity by aggressively expanding sales to this new segment. It would cost our client 22 million to build the appropriate marketing infrastructure and 4 million to redesign the customer experience to meet the need of this new segment. Now that we have reviewed a sample structure and answer for a case, you should be all set to incorporate the pyramid principle into your case prep. It's important to remember that the pyramid principle is a tool that you need to practice to use effectively. It may seem awkward at first, but stick with it and you will get better over time. One of the best ways to improve how you use the pyramid principle is to observe people using it in action. Pay attention to how peers and leaders around you communicate. Note when you observe someone using the pyramid principle and take note of what techniques they use and use them yourself. So there you are, everything you need to know about the pyramid principle. And if you want to shortcut your mastery of the type of consulting interview questions you might encounter in interviews so you can land your dream offer, I would love to help you. For a limited time, I have asked my consulting offer team of former recruiters from Bain, BCG, and McKinsey to help anyone who is watching this video on YouTube get more interviews and land more offers. When you click the link in the description box below, you will be able to book a free 30-minute strategy session with one of our team members. Our other videos can help you land your dream consulting offer. Check out our case interview prep video, which can speed up your case prep with our proven 4-step process. Thanks for sticking with me till the end. I will see you next time.